Shanju tukiri ombwiro bw'ekyanda obw'omushana kujwera kimwe aho ine kubano yetebekanisiza obwiro oburukwosya okatambura n'akacupa k'amaizi ninga akashera kabatayi bitu abakabale abarukuba baine obushero butakwaho n'abandi ombicweka ebitari bimwe na bimwe. The pleasure ajuna n'amakuru agahanu Nahari kabutosha kurugasha 5 kikasha mukaga okurugizoba eryo rwo kubanza kwikorwa katano makuru ntubatwinire menjo kurugwembicweka ebitari bimwe na bimwe kandi ijwe kuba obyami norya nonywa nokore ikintu cyoni twe haba hari amakuru aguturiyo ntukushakira kandi ahabwire bwago tugendo mission okubantu ntuga kwisyaho izoberi amakuru twinire menji ahizirashire shamukaga zihangwa guturabe twakwikizeho twine amakuru agakwatirine nene byabanyishengero kutende ko umurimo gwabo ubwo bunyishengero na mnonga benjo mbamwe abasya abatancire ncureji umwaka gw'2026 okusenkumibirashatunagumwe twinire amakuru agandi agakwatirine nanoku abanyishengero bagambirwe bigambo ebyo kubahugura umurimo kandi hamwe n'amakuru agandi menji omworeko omurembo rwambarira ngugendo mesho abashubuzi b'ineshongezi bari kugugambaho abamwe neboreka ebitekateke bitarukwatagana hamugore kogu tujja kubebyo nabyo ntubikuretera n'amakuru agandi menji tutarukusibyayo tujja kubantu tankiraho amakuru aga tugatandikire omunshongezi kwatirine n'abanyishengero kazi bashabirwe okwatanisa omukuhereza abanyuganda batari kurebera bina byabo ebibi butegeki ebibarumu ngo babase kwegita omurimo gwobuhereza ebibigambirwe ayabireho mnyishengero kazi wa district ya Kasese wini Chiza kandi umuringo ngogumwe akabaho na nomwebembezi w'urubaju oruhabura government nengasho ruhakanisa government mwishengero lihanga obwabariyo mkibina echa Forum for Democratic Change nobukira bikiri nkwatakeje yahinduka yabo w'ikibina kibyo butegeki echa Alliance for National Transformation narshi anti obwahati ebyabirire nabigamba nyuma abaziyo obwabire nabuganaho abanyishengero n'abanyishengero kazi obwe bari mu kutendekwa no kubangurwa aha kubarukije ku bantu bacika omwishengero lihanga hamwe no kusiyaho obuhereza abantu babo mu mashaza abo ababaterira karuro mu kubanza omwaka ogu tuje kutandikiraho tukoreke enshonga ez'abanyishengero n'abanyishengero kazi okubagambirwe okureka ngo bayereka kwebaganisiza mu mbyo bibina byabo by'obutegeki omukusya abanyuganda obuhereza reka tukoreke ebyo tuje tugumize mu namakuru agandi ahata ya West
ababaka bitu abari mu parliament omwishengero lihanga ahabwe emirimo gye gukora konka kutuhiko mu parliament ninko mwishengero nikiba kirunjo kureba nku mwakwatagana ebibina mwabita harubaju mwareba enshongeze affecting abantu ba Uganda ko tukuhikaho mu parliament bituba turi ababaka abihanga no basa kuba waruga Kasese ninka waruga Bushenyi oba waruga Mbale oba waruga Amuru konka ko kwika hano ba national legislator ekiri kumanyisa nke bizibwe biri mu Uganda yona oyina kuba no bimanya kandi oyina kuba no contributing or providing a solutions ezebe bizibu haza nikiba kirungi nakyo ko kwika okareba nku wakore kiri kubasika okureba nkwe bibina tibye byaba driving force yawe omu legislative agenda abakyara bawuopa nitubashaba nkubabe cyo kureberaho echa good leadership nti no baraba bari mu bibina ebitari bimwe konka kuba kwikaha bakwatanise barwanire hamwe habo kubebizibwe bitwine tibisororo mu bibina abari mu NRM abari mu UPC abari mu Alliance abari mu DP itwena n'abari mu NUP ebizibu bitu ni bimu ko kwiko marwariro hakaba hatariyo emibazi n'aba NRM tiba kukishangayo ko kwiko mashomero enyegesa yabana bitwe kaberimbi n'abari mu NRM tiba kutunga begesa be abo mtano so nikiba kirungi nywe na kumukwatanisa hamwe mukareba nkumwarwanise mberambe itwino mu ihanga mukakorera hamwe okureta amateka agariho muntu wabutosha omuboro no kureba nkihanga ritu lyagendo misho kandi ebibyona mubikore muri kumanyangu mwine namaka oho muri kuruga otakija owirebwona okabumaro mu parliament okewa nko inabana okewa nko ino mushija ninko mucyara okewa nko inabanyabuzare nabo bo ino kureberera kandi okamanyango nabo obatunjiro bwire so abandi tibakwijuka nkuko kwika hakaba memba wa parliament abakumuronda mu karuru obo baragira ngo inka hatwara nazagaruka mu kayeye hasi kwarahika yamara kugishenya nahika. So nikiba kirungi ko kuzo mu office okamanya nko wakore mirimo ja office kurungi kandi okagikoraje no mutima gumwe konko rukumanya nko ina family nayo oyino kugifa barasinge mirimo yawe orukumanya nko na family nayo wagifa orukumanya nko na ruhanga wawe ti wamweba. So abamemba bitu ba parliament tubashaba emirimo ye muri gukora mu manyanko nemirimo eyo kutwari hanga lito misho temirimo eyo kutwara kandi okutugarize nyuma tukargaha muramwa nk'abantu ba Uganda.
N'ubwo mucyara w'inikiza yabereho mu ishengerokazi wa district ya Kasese kandi yakabaho no mu ibembezi y'urubajoro hakanisa government mu ishengero nyuma abazyo habera haro mukoro obwo kugumzamu kutendekana no kubangura abanyishengero n'abanyishengerokazi amirimo yabo kandi ntagambire bwambe byo netamya ngo wabitunga gihabwo kubabya babiri umururimi orunyakitara. Reka tuyengereyo amakuru aganda garukwenda gashana nagakwatirine na Nahati ari omwebembezi w'urubajoro hakanisa government omwishengero ryihanga Joel Senyonyi kandi ogu no mwishengero ahabwa abantu banakawa West nawe arugireyo kugira entande yakomera abanyishengero ahabuhereza bwabo omwishengero ryihanga hateri batantire ryo murundi ogwi 12 nawe tumukwinire arukuhabura abanyishengero batahibe no bukirabe ngo nawe ariyo mu nshuro ye ya kabiri konka kacena kahanga karukumanya ahabyo kucika mu ishengero ryihanga genziro meshe no kuba nabimanyisa batahibe. Reka tubikoreke.
Every parliament inherits more than a chamber, a set of rules, and a legislative calendar. It inherits the hopes of millions of citizens, the unfinished work of those who came before it, and the constitutional duty to leave the institution stronger than it found it. That responsibility now rests with each one of us, honorable members. Permit me, therefore, to congratulate you upon your election to the 12th Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. Today, we meet not as competitors on the campaign trail, but as custodians of one institution upon which the health of our democracy largely depends. Our political persuasions may differ, but our constitutional obligation is shared to represent our people faithfully, legislate wisely, safeguard public resources, and ensure that those who exercise public authority are accountable to the citizens from whom that authority is derived. It is in that spirit that I address us today. The office of the Leader of the Opposition draws its authority and mandate from Article 82A of the Constitution, reinforced by the Administration of Parliament Act and given practical effect through our rules of procedure. It sits within the constitutional architecture through which Parliament holds the executive to account, a function that is not just ceremonial. Parliament was never designed as a passage point for government proposals. It exists to interrogate policy before it becomes law, to scrutinize proposals. It exists to ensure that expenditure is scrutinized before it is authorized, and to demand accountability after public resources have been spent. Where scrutiny is treated as obstruction, where disagreement is read as disloyalty, and where alternative ideas are dismissed as inconveniences, Parliament cannot discharge that function. Every mature democracy recognizes the opposition for precisely this reason. A strong opposition is one of the principal safeguards against the abuse of public power. Accountability is an act of fidelity to the people who elected all of us, and history will judge whether we proved worthy of that trust. The office of the Leader of the Opposition gives practical expression to these principles. It coordinates the work of the Shadow Cabinet, supports members through research and policy analysis, scrutinizes legislation and public expenditure, contributes to parliamentary business, and presents alternative policy proposals for consideration by the House. Equally important, the opposition chairs Parliament's accountability committees because oversight is strongest when exercised independently of those responsible for implementing government programs. That arrangement reflects a constitutional understanding that public accountability is strengthened when scrutiny is credible, objective, and fearless. Honorable members, throughout the 11th Parliament, the Office of the Leader of the Opposition advanced parliamentary accountability through alternative policy statements, alternative budget priorities, minority reports, petitions, motions, matters of national importance, and oversight visits to public institutions and government projects, all aimed at ensuring that decisions of this, our august House, were informed by evidence, alternative perspectives, and the realities on ground, rather than by the government's account alone. Honorable colleagues, as we begin the work of the 12th Parliament, we should remain guided by a simple but profound truth. The confidence of the people in this institution will depend less on what we say or what we do. The confidence of the people in this institution will depend less on what we say than on what we do. Every law we pass, every budget we approve, and every oversight report we adopt must answer one fundamental question. Will this improve the lives of the people who entrusted us with their vote? The Constitution has entrusted Parliament with 4 cardinal responsibilities: to legislate, to represent our constituents, to appropriate public resources, and to hold the executive accountable. None of these functions is superior to the other, and none should be exercised casually. Laws shape the character of our nation. Budgets reveal our priorities. Oversight determines whether public promises become public services. When any of these responsibilities is weakened, Parliament itself is diminished. Permit me, therefore, to offer 3 reflections that I hope will guide our work during this Parliament. First, let us safeguard the independence of Parliament. The authority of this institution does not rest in its buildings, its procedures, or even its traditions. It rests in the confidence that Ugandans have that their representatives can deliberate and decide freely, guided only by the Constitution, the law, and their conscience. Secondly, colleagues, let us protect the culture of meaningful debate. We shall not always agree, nor should we. Democracy was never designed to eliminate disagreement. It was designed to ensure that disagreement is resolved through reason rather than through intimidation, through persuasion rather than coercion, and through constitutional processes rather than arbitrary power. A parliament that welcomes diverse opinions almost always produces stronger decisions than one in which only one voice is heard. So, even though we sit on different sides of the House, we are not enemies, colleagues. And we should always be open to criticism and divergent views. Thirdly, let us defend the principle of accountability with equal determination, irrespective of who occupies public office. Public resources belong neither to government nor to Parliament. They belong to the people of Uganda. Every shilling appropriated by this House carries with it a solemn obligation to account for how it is spent. That obligation does not change with political seasons because accountability is the currency through which citizens place their trust in public institutions. Holding government accountable, colleagues, is
Nokokwe ebyo biriyo nibigenda mu mesho kandi biriyo mu Rembo Kampala Omwembezi w'orubajo rwa kanisa government Joel Senyonyi abeire ari omwe aha bagambi emikoro gye kyagenda omu maisho ahabw'okuba n'abagambi baingi harimu na sipiika w'ishengero ry'ihanga n'abandi ekigendererwa ekikuru n'okureebeka ngu babaasa kuha obwengye n'okuhugura abanyishengero aha mitensereze y'omwishengero hamwe n'eyindi mikorere yaabo emirimo egi barikwija kukora kumara emyaka 5 barikujwekera amashaza na districti abantu ababatoreine okubajwekera omwishengero ery'omurundi ogw'12 kusia 2031 tujja kuba ntukumanyisa ebindi ebiraba embirugayo turikukworeka omu makuru gaitu agatari gamwe na gamwe garabe nigagenda omu maisho n'okuba nigakurataho Agahanu Nahari atayari West nigo riyo noreeba kandi ntwenda kugaruka kwisa ngu nobasa n'okugareeba mu bitu eby'empurizigana ka social media ezindi platform ayi twine yonka X, twine XG yabiri nemanywa ka Twitter, twine Facebook, twine TikTok, twine na n'emikutu endijo ekwatirine na n'ebyamakuru erikubasa kworeka ebyo byona aho niho twinire na n'omukutu ogubarikweta Afro Mobile. Tugendo mesho n'amakuru agandi aha tayari West tujja kuba ntuyongerayo eshahe egi tuze omu makuru agandi tukutwaraho muri Kasese eshahe janshongezi kwatiri no kurwanisa oburwaire obwa Ebola mutayi witu Mate Isaac aine omwe ahantu mwaza president omu district ejo ogune lieutenant Mate Magwara nagumiza mu kwereka omushana oguriho ahabyo kurwanisa oburwaire obwa Ebola oburiyo mu ihangiri ya Democratic Republic ya Congo kandi ntikimanyaje ngo district egi eya Kasese eri hansharo na ni ihangiri ya Democratic Republic ya Congo na mnongo myanya nkampondo erubiriha town council hamwe n'ebicweke bya Bwera ebirihihi na Uganda hamwe na Congo arubaju n'orubaju eshaji tujja kuba ntwegita aha munyamakuru witu Mate Isaac anemukana yako na omwami Mate Magwara RDC ow'ekipindi eki Kasese bakabuwa okwa esyasonge hambangine nerirwanyisaya oburwere obwa Ebola tareka tukutware Kasese tukendisubura handa haki
weitu wasinja kutsibo musamaliro wekinemba eche tayari West TV nga kutangerera singa uche busuborero okwamena ninje Mate Isaac mnyamyatsi ukwawo habwe kinemba hane Kasese district okwana menu tuli na Lieutenant Mate Magwara kando ono ni Deputy RDC owe Kasese habwe kipindi eche Bukonzo. So tulinayo tukanze riminyerera ibonga bembibecha nibyahi beba nemukorera ngirindi oburwere bwe Ebola siburende mbere nerikanyiriro mu abantu. Tunakyasindekendeke ndi omutano owe Congo ne Uganda abiricengwa. So nibyo tukanze rikanyako tuminyerere esho business eshe border sinemwenda sitembere weitu RDC wasinja kutsiberikanya konetu abandu tabaho mwatsi webora niko twimene kwandabye
cyonga nzeri sukerongora cyekere ndio mutano owe Uganda na Congo akingiri yes akingiri
okay
aleriyo ebe kakora wako ibyabe kehibirwe noko alekere byango kwabya habye ebikakora wa hanana byuma ebikatsuka erimanibwa
ebikakora bawani bebya
ebikakora bawa hatokonda mbyano emoto kashosi esehekire ebyo amawuli ebyo soboro sena musoka isende Kongo nesikarwe Kongo sesu Uganda ekyakabere ashirikora mu essential movements abo abakaita isibawa abo karangiro te emibiri yabo yikawetika eshumbande sho sibiri eno na yesera nabo banamukoreki banamugenda mumure ababyo bwitsotse ngabo World Health Organization naba Ministry of Health amabyo bwitawa eyiseria kutsiano neryo ebangana kolangana
abandu babulikiro
abweye abo bulikiro abo bakenderenda erikaho ereraera eriya karekesa sera
abasuburi
abo bandu abo bulikiro abo bose abasuburi si special category ye Ebola tunamuranishayo nge Uganda kitongore ekebe bwitsotse bakurengolo erihanga no district yetu hano ye Kasese benemukora ekikatro itaisibawa aho tukabwira hano omu district ya Kasese simulimo bya mukoni wasi owa Ebola yinambaneka abakatru batikaya erera bya mwase kisi mutasa musamale byono ekandi cyo tukawutembulya abantu bakole neryo abantu base basamalera batwale bipimo ibyabanika omurunya nakolire eki ina ukwira vonde bulwere ese Ebola neryo tunamulengaho omutano erangera tuti tukakakiraya esyo ngendo esiteisibawa na abake abakala bahalya nga bakavugesha motoka esyo nenene sikiribya mawuli bakalaba omu IPC IPC ni standard operating procedures esera nabo kobyara iba mu pima bakakolesya ka temperature gun bamarangiro buhane bwewe nga bwamahengurana nereba museria ruhande iba tose mu pima ndeke iba mecha malekini uhana kutubunga niki
wait to RDC
wama bulebi butakwa mkomene wole nagasikero bamu bihwe okwalulengo Uganda national sitruche nawete abantu 20 basa abamatahamba na Ebola okuma 20 abavere bavrahora so butukakana ku bandu 18 hatya abaka janjabawa no bulere bwa Ebola abo tukasaba ruchambura nabo abo sibali alama neryo omu 20 muri abatraho batano abatraho kikala kitwara rukangande omubiri obutraho ariko riski nene ayirero rahabu abarere ari hamba obulere habu abarwa kajenjabo neryo tukendero mulero erangera tuti aho abantu bakasokera ise hahamwirwe sahali kolesibawa ekyakabere esyo ko nene esikama abantu banene ambulishe besika horuba nasinde itunasukesireka obutale kwa boda obo okondambya no bukingire neryo kikaleka abake bakasa mwakatali mu muntu muhali ambule bavya ibakase wala ebyali isibolura habende vendu ebyale kundi byo bikaite sibawa tomabya tukende byaho
wait to RDC tukalangera kiro cyumwa munayiko kwa boda ngarangera kandi abantu boswiro katali around the market abantu ngabo mukabakorera mageziki
abo babakasawulira yevindu byabo byiyishya shakatali akatali fabule kingako neryo abo kasawulira yishya shakatali tukakolesa netu obulengekania obwerero bya omutema mutumohoremo common sense abana bandu abana nene bataka abo mu customs maho nebiseke bitimbiremo seba lero yiseria seba lero bavanda ne Buganda ne bataka abaho abo twangena kania nabo kose twangana leke bawuranga nako kandaba wamamu anasamurende hali byale byo bisingira ho bunene ebisigara ngeshangeta shanjemba esitwa buri bwatu tambule bali akoraki bali segera ya neryo abo nebomo ne bataka bamu nabo omwali rolero bakenda ndabakakeha bati bo twangana tende ba nguhya kutsebo mulekiri atana hano muri aye kusangwa sebala mu koni koze na suspect urusiriyeho ibali asamo mundo muhyaka oyurere yuangala kibalwara
owitara disi tunemunzerera message yawo kubanyakaseserera ngerende omubere bikase bi oburere Uganda ikarange wandi simuri burere kaba message
omurenge wane muoma akabwende tuwande mulero narahamberera ebyabebe bwitsotse bakashubira ekyo kubanza era nabokobyaro nomwanga biwuliye waweka kusewamendo mu kanisa mu keleziya mu muzigiti wonabe aha kenda abantu banene ambule banatunga aka temperature gun etrasaba tutambule muleke tutashamukara mukane mune muhamba no mabyara koserwanga no mabikuba ekyo twamakikorera muzamuworo nave Ministry of Health bali na mashesipatare mulago bakende bana mujanjaba abo bala nabo nenda mbika bakaya rama itomunye mu Uganda simukiri bukoni hata tukakingira obule eyiseria
wasinja kutsifu waito musamaliri ono arwe Lieutenant Mate Magwara kandi ni Deputy Radiso we Kasese so mama muwiriro kumatsi we Ebola hano ne Kasese babire hambao twererangere ndi oburere bonusi burirandauka omubataka hano abatakandurana atukende mbere ne rikwamiririye myatsi ngeno hano Kasese district kandi ngarwe Mate Ishak umunyamyatsi ukwawo habwe Kinemba hano Kasese
byebyo ebikarwa Kasese omwerero wanyisa ya burwere obwe Ebola kandi tukendi byatune kwika yako emyatsi yindi ekasubuka hako okwa ebirwanyisa y'oburwere obwe Ebola na Mate Ishak akine Kasese yo ane mtuhambira emyatsi tetete ehambangene okwa burwere obwo twarugayo Kasese reka tuyongereyo kandi makuru aganda gutwinire na mnonga agakwatirine n'enshonga ezindi zitari za Ebola konka burwire bwa Ebola mu ihanga bucurumu kandi ntureba nesabitehoire aba Ministry by'amagara bakahamya ndijo muntu umwe akwasira uburwire obwo nahabwe cyate mu Uganda bashyira 20 abarwire uburwire obwo kandi government nekitaho emiringo yona eyo kureka ngo uburwire obwo bwarwanisibwa tar Kasese honka nko kutwareba Mate Ishak hamwe na n'entuma ya President Mate Magwara Lieutenant barukushobora burwire obwo hireho n'ekintu ekihangariyona kare reka tugumizemu n'amakuru agandi agutwinire ahata ya West Agahanu Nahari kandi shaji ntujja kubantu kutwara kugaruraho kace ahashonga itu atwakorekere eyo kushombesa na no kubangura abanyishengero n'abanyishengero kazi ahamirimo yabo eyibatandikire umwaka w'Gwe2026 kusenga 2023 eshaji ntujja kubantu kuretere nganzi hanga Right Honorable Robin Anabanja arukushobora ahashongezwatirine nanuku abanyishengero bine kwetwaza no kusiha abantu hereza kandi obwe na wari kugamba ha mikoroni yemwe ekyagenda omesho ntujja kubana no mesha ntukugambira nanokworeka abarukwebembera obukiko obwishengero lyihanga ahabwo kurebuza enkora ya government bikwatirine n'obuherezo kubisya ahabantu reka tukwereke enganzi hanga Right Honorable Robin Anabanja nawe arukayo obhabuzibwe.
Honorable Speaker and members, I want to express my appreciation to all the previous parliaments for supporting the NRM government and His Excellency the President in laying the strong foundation for socio-economic transformation of Uganda. We are starting this term of office, that is 2026-2031, when the country has made major strides across all sectors of our economy since 1986. For example, Uganda has graduated from the category of least developed countries to the lower middle income status. What we need now as the 12th Parliament is a qualitative leap to the upper middle income status. And this is so because of peace and security. Honorable members, the whole country is peaceful and secure. I request if you are clapping, clap louder. Because what I'm talking about is a reality. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, the whole country is now connected by tarmac roads from east to west, north to south. Except for a few areas where you and me have to put our feet down to make sure that we tarmac those other remaining roads. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, the literacy rate has increased to 80%, up from 43% in 1986. Life expectancy has improved to 68 years, up from 43 years in 1986. Right Honorable Speaker and members, access to clean water. 8 in 10 households now have access to improved water sources. In 1986, only 1 in 10 households had access to a clean and safe water source. Right Honorable Speaker and members, our electricity generation capacity has greatly improved, up from 60 megawatts in 1986 to 2,098 megawatts now. But this is not enough because of industrialization. And therefore, all our focus should now be directed towards the target of 52 megawatts by 2040 through diversifying our energy sources, what we commonly call the energy mix. That is the solar, nuclear, to mention but a few. Right Honorable Speaker and members, the size of our economy has expanded 17 times, from US dollars 3.9 billion in 1986 to US dollars 69.3 billion now. The task before us, honorable members, is to ensure that this economic growth produces jobs, better household incomes, and prosperity. Right Honorable Speaker, let me talk about education briefly. The number of our children in government-aided primary schools has increased to 9.52 million in 2026 from 2.5 million in 1997 when UPE was introduced. There are also 2 million learners in private primary schools because of our good policies, especially the policy on liberalization. And therefore, I request members to put our heads together to address some outstanding challenges in this term of office, such as teacher absenteeism, school dropouts, to mention but a few. Honorable members, households poverty has declined from 56.4 in 1994 to 16.1 now, according to the 2024 housing census. Our efforts now should be directed to bring our people into the money economy, especially the 30% that are commonly known by everybody. Right Honorable Speaker and members, let me talk about the implementation of the 2021-2026 manifesto. Out of 809 commitments in the 2021-2026 NRM manifesto, 699, representing 88%, were implemented, though some are still ongoing. As a result, Uganda is now one of the best investment destinations in Africa. Let me repeat this. Honorable members, Uganda is now one of the best investment destinations in Africa, according to the 2024 annual investment meeting in Abu Dhabi, the capital of United Arab Emirates. Right Honorable Speaker and members, I know you are aware that I derive my mandate as a Prime Minister of this country and leader of government business from Article 108A of our Constitution. And of course, you are aware that it requires me to be the leader of government business in Parliament, and it gives me mandate to be responsible for coordination and implementation of all government policies across ministries, departments and agencies, including local governments and other public institutions. And of course, it also mandates me to perform any other functions as may be assigned by the President, or conferred by the Constitution or any other law. And you are aware that I'm a member of the Business Committee of Parliament. I promise that I will present government business, and I know this is going to be the epitome of our performance as Parliament. I will answer and respond to your questions during the Prime Minister's question time. This is provided for under Rule 43 of our Rules of Procedure of Parliament. And of course, I will also prevail over ministers to attend Parliament this time round in big numbers. We are in the process as NRM of designating members of Parliament from our side, that's the NRM, to the leadership positions in Parliament, as provided for under Rule 187 and 188 of our Rules of Procedure. The Government Chief Whip will announce the members appointed to those positions at the next sitting. So members, very soon. Honorable Speaker and members, I want to request that we work as a team. Recently, the President directed me to coordinate ministries, departments, and agencies, especially the ministries of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Works and Transport, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, to evacuate 771 Ugandans from South Africa following the escalation of anti-migrant protests. So I believe either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, our brothers will be flying in from South Africa. Right Honorable Speaker and members, it is our constitutional duty to support government and the President of the Republic of Uganda in moving Uganda to the upper middle income status through legislation that enhances development, especially household income, and transform livelihoods. That's why our legislative program is fully aligned with the Fourth National Development Plan, the 2026-2031 NRM Manifesto, and the 10-fold growth strategy, which seeks to grow our economy from $69.3 billion in this financial year, which we are closing, to $500 billion by 2040. To achieve this, government has prioritized 4 strategic growth drivers, commonly known as ATMs, and that is agro-industrialization, tourism development, mineral development, science, technology, and innovation. These are supported by key enablers, including peace and security, infrastructure development, investment in our people, that's wealth creation, industrialization, market access, environmental protection, and moving the remaining 30% of our households into the money economy and fighting corruption. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and members, it is our responsibility to provide oversight of government programs as Parliament, including the flagship program of government, that is the Parish.
Tayari Westin tugumizamu n'amakuru Agahanu Nahari shaheji ibibuwano reba nebukugendo mesho omukushomesa no kubangura abanyishengero na n'abanyishengero kaza imirimo yabo kandi yabanagamba nabo ni Right Honorable Robin Anabanja inganzi hanga eri Uganda emikoreje cyagumizamu izoba lyona kandi byone biragambwe nebirabemo na mnongo kurgombe bembezi abatari bamwe na bamwe ntija ku bantu bukuretera amakuru gaitu agarukurataho oteireho na omunyishengero kandi ari speaker w'ishengero ryihanga nawe okugamba ko ntija ku bantu kuretera abenji nababagambera habwatirine nana okwisi abantu obuhereza no kwatanisa na government na nentebekanso zayo kureka ngo obuherezo obu bwahika kurungi aha bantu Nako kwereka tugumizemu n'amakuru agandi agu twinire eshaje ntuje ku bantu kugarura ho kunombe chweka ebya Ankole district eyibarukweta Kiruhura district ejo izoberi beinizobero barukweta eri ebyo buyonjo kandi omunyamakuru witu Jobu Kato aliyo okuba na gambaho nabebembezi batari bamwe na bamwe n'abatura aba district eje eya Kiruhura ahanshonga ezebyo buyonjo no bwecumi district ejo kadi shaheji tujja ku bantu mukuletera ha screen yawe abase kuba nagumiza mo kuma 7 billion bigendo mesho ahashongezo ezibyo buyonjo kandi hamwe na obwecumi district eji eya Kiruhura leka tugendo mesho no kumukwisyawo
ya Kiruhura omugombora eya Kashongi kandi omurka no Gwantarama omukwezi kwa kashatu mwaka ogu ehanga narishenze bukambijuka ekire kya sanitation day konka district ya Kiruhura abo kugira ngo harimo ibiro by'obururu na nebindi bintu bakashara mu kongeza ekireki kandi bayenda ngo bakicelebrating narishi bakijaguze erizoba theme yor nakoru ni hoya water froze equality froze kandi twenda kureba nibiki ebyakozwe kuiho ba celebrate nyiro mu district omugombora ya Kashongi omumurko gwa rugongi kwiseri izoba mwaka ogurabereho hineba kozere narishi ebaye mbagendera gukora bintu ebi bambareba amaka mbareba amashomero mbareba amakerezia abantu abino butandaro abakozia ebikupo n'amaswano muka abine toilets eziriya hamutiro ntaragamba ho na mukuru w'entebe ya Kashatu abwegombore ya Kashongi omwami Ruzigana Trobore egombore je emerita kandi kigendera cyo kureta okujaguzoku omugombore je mu district ya Kiruhura neki twakwakira chairman Triya Tayari West
ebare mnonga Tayari West nabare mwena amazina ni Sam Ruzigana kia personnel C3 Kashongi sub county nyenda kubanza no kubasima nimwe barene mweja kutukavaringa aha kiro kitu celebrating sanitation day aha rengo rwa district cyeciremu kwija ku celebratingira omurka Kashongi nke gombora omurka ni Ntarama tucire muri izoba sanitation nibyo buyonjo umuntura y'abantu ni ho kugendera by'amaizi byo buyonjo nko butandaro nka latrines nka all that nebinde bikugendera mu category ejo konka theme yo mwaka ogu negira ngo where water flows equality flows amakuru ahamaizi garho umbwinge nari kipimo kikire na uburinganza gender based naho buri buringanza so celebrating ikireki district nyenda kwanza kusima district ahabo kutorana kashongi ahabo kuba hariho umurimo murungi kandi umuhango ogukozerwe uko kushati hariho some delays ahubwo ikirori cyabishima kuba kikorwa mu kwa kashatu celebrating mu kwa kashatu kuje celebrating hati almost July. There are some checkups as banze korwa. They have taken their time bayizire ba visiting akashongi bagire bo mu by'ubuyonjo eyemereye leta kandi of course nk'abantu hariho abantu bamwe tukwa twinemo bweremwa konka generally kashongi mu by'ubuyonjo ekabere tarukubi
mu kwirikangira umugomborege kugira ngo babe no bata ekireki tugire ngo twaza aha butandaro bwagambaho toilets omumaka compound okorwa nubarebire ngo nicyo cicweka ekiri kukirayo kuba ku mu district age kugira ngo babe no bareta umukoro no kwirikangira abantu abo.
I don't think so. Ni impamya ngo tuko kiri kashongi nayo nkaganda magombora gari mu district age ni njyango bagitorene nko kwano gamba rwabarata kenshunga ezo agona magombora nkakashonye nayo gomboro magomborago ni nyango kugitorana kibe kitene mu any other factors aside konka ekinani nkisimira bayizire bagira emirimo yibakoramo. Yes kashongi nensi y'abantu abinenta asyanke kandi ahenta asyankeri ntaba harimo challenges yes zirumu kuba amaizi government kagizo yati amaizi agar piped abantu ba at least nibatungaho amaizi agar piped taguturko expecting ngo amaizi amayonjo kashongi irmu dams public dams community dams concat to certain parishes haru parishes zitagaine kashongi ebyo buyonjo nka ubutandaro kurebeka buyonjo bweka ani bagezaho gukora nabagezaho tubari kubimunonga so konka abantu butosha nabane bendo kubakikingamo no kubishitya no kubimtya no kubara amakaburizo banhombe kwa masya kandi nagabe garuhono gakura toilets nzikura ubutandaro n'ubukura kandi nk'abantu butosha nabane bendo kubinkarijinga kurinda omutindo gw'obuyonjo
cyamano tukuza kuhendera uyu niko amasoko kugira ngo omukoro nkogunana okumushyikirira amakago ihangari yo district yona nangwa tutandikira har kashongi emereka mukagerimo neza kwikwaho yona ari umukozira hari intarama yonga.
Yes of course harmo neja kwikwa yona abo kuba twine health obyo buyonjo nyango burofa wegombora he's always on duty nakora uhire hokeri izoba konka we umwanya na koromu mugwe na checkinga hariho hasa kubaho reluctance ushanje abantu baturaho mu mbere itari yo by'ubuyonjo hakonka ino mu nakora nitwa bebembezi ntugezeho tugumiza muntukora harimo n'ibindi bitongore ebiri kugezeho kwimutya umutindo by'ubuyonjo konka theme yo mwako gunashi theme yo mwako ebyamaizi marungi ne tu encouraginga kugira ngo amezi na make na menja kutwine tugakwatege tugarindeje taro mezi go kushisha ne tu encouraginga okunabo mu ngaro so hashengwa amezi go kunabo mu ngaro hand washing ne tu encouraginga okwozya no kwoga ne tu encouraginga okwozya brushing ne tu encouraginga kunywa amaizi marungi okunywa amaizi gakumara
chairman habwisha hatuhendere konkanye naye kibuzo kimwe omukoro gwawe rizoba ntakurataho ki imwe nkabebemeze.
Yes omukoro gwawe rizoba ntakurataho ki ni ndagansa tuja kurinda omutindo on programs twine secretary wa social works ne twine ohiro kugira ngo hatane dry season konka twine program kegomborra ebyamaizi amaizi kurabira mu district ekatsitya amaizi kandi program ejo ntwenda kugyongerayo piped water kwika abantu ntweraganisa gumizamo ntukekinga amaka g'abantu eby'obuyonjo by'amaka g'abantu ntuencouraginga kugumiza muntu ntureba amashomero gaine amaizi gakumara gaine obuyonjo nindaganisa ngo ebyo omutindo gw'ebyobuyonjo niguteekwa kugumizamu omumaisho kandi niguteekwa kugenda haiguru
ebyokuza kukora omu myaka 5 tukabasa kubigambira omu dakiika 2 bikahwayo twakusiima chairman habwakire kawe ntuza kweyongerayo kureba izo biri kuri agende aho abantu bakashongi n'ihanga lyona bari munongo yabari chairman w'entebe ya kashatu abwegombore ya kashongi kandi nanye ndijo bukato kangarire omu makitu takarga hata Air West.
Nibyo mu district ya Kiruhura n'enshonga z'ebyobuyonjo kandi webare mutayi weitu Katojo bokutwisia hamakurago okurwa mu district ejo eya Kiruhura enshonga ezo nazo zikyagumza muri zigendo mu maisho kandi naija kuba natumayise birakire haho koko wareba omukoro nugwe gwatandika abajenyi abakuru n'abato nugwe baryo nibeija nekireka ngo aneja kubaho no kukoza nawe echo jobo takaye bwebyitu kwija nabyo okabitwisia hwa hata Air West. Nokwetuendera tia makuru gaitu Agahanu Nahari izoberi tujja kureba nyencha karumu kwezo kwa mshanju omwizo barisia osibe nitwe otarugaho ahira karietu.